Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Justin. If you're wondering where are the vlogs, they'll be coming back very soon when I can get out. I've got a bit more time, and hopefully when I take this project on in the next few weeks, and I can share all of that with you. But in the meantime, I really wanted to share this video, which is my first 12 months as a landlord. It's been 12 months since I bought my first property, which you might have seen the video for. I'll put a link up here and a link down below in the description. But I wanted to come on here because it's been a good and a bad 12 months with that property. There's some pros, there's some cons, and I want to share them. So if you have watched the original video or my 6 months review video, you'll be aware of my buy-to-let. However, for those of you that are new, quick recap. I bought this buy-to-let and completed on it in December 2019. So I picked up the keys on the 6th of December. I spent the first week renovating, not really a full renovation or refurbishment. It was like plastering, painting, bit of rewiring, and basic odd jobs that I was able to do with my parents because they've got a lot of experience in property. My dad's very hands-on and could tell me what to do whilst he did stuff as well. So we went up there for quite a few days and did that. Didn't spend too much because we did it ourselves. It was just our time and effort involved in adding value to that property. We then rented it out in January, so there was a bit of a gap where over December I had to make sure the property was compliant. We had to try and push to get it on the rental market. Eventually went on. Obviously over Christmas it was quiet, and then come January we had a few offers and managed to settle with the tenants, which are still there. So I'm really thankful to those tenants because they've stuck with me this whole year, and they've been great, to be quite frank. So since January this year to now, which is end of November 2020 or coming into December, it's been a good run. Particularly the first 5-6 months are really good and profitable. So just to give you a quick rundown of the figures, I get £525 per month in rent. I pay £149 per month for the mortgage as an expense, £24 for insurance, and £70 I believe for the managing agent fee, so around there. So approximately it works out as about £260 profit per month, and in fact actually now that my accounting fee is spread over several revenue streams, it actually gets closer to like £290, £300 profit per month, which is a good little single let. I know it's not good compared to HMOs and different things, but as a single let, that's, for me, I'm happy with that. I do have my money still tied up in that property, which I can potentially refinance in the next year or two. I've got about 16 grand tied up in there. So, but as an investment, as I say, the first few months were great. I did have a few bills then come up, and I will share them with you in a minute. But just to give you a quick recap of what the house looks like, if you can't remember, I'll quickly show you now. I just wanted to interrupt this video very quickly to announce that during the month of December I'm going to be doing a giveaway in each and every video. In this video you've got the chance to win either a free Long Game t-shirt or a free copy of Shoe Dog, which is a fantastic book. In order to enter, you've got to like the video and drop a comment below. I'll be keeping an eye on the entries. I appreciate you watching every week. Justin, back to you in the studio. So as we start the tour, so just to remind you, this is a 2-bed terrace property. It's freehold and it's in Liverpool. I paid £58,000 for this property. So this, just as we lead in, is the hallway, nice and colourful hallway as we lead through to the sitting room. Now, quite a nice big sitting room or front room, and nice big bay window, and it's been opened up at some point to create this sort of double front room, which I'm sure wouldn't have been that layout originally. So I guess you could have this, you would most likely have this as your front room, sitting room, and also dining area. You've got 2 fireplaces. As you can see, my mum there helping just in the courtyard garden. As we go through, I'm just taking you through to the kitchen. Again, at some point this would have been extended because the kitchens for these properties are not this size usually. So this is a nice big kitchen, and in fairly good condition as well actually, and had a nice range style cooker which I left for the tenants there. So nice big kitchen, and you've got the cellar just behind, or just at the base of where the kitchen is. So there's the cellar. It's not a usable room, unfortunately. It's just a good storage area. Perhaps it's not damp, but perhaps very slightly wet or damp. Now moving back through, there's the dogs. Now moving back through the sitting room, up the stairs we go, and to the bathroom. Bathroom perhaps was one of the focus areas for us because the ceiling was a bit grotty, needed some of the plaster needed redoing, needed repainting, and the again it probably is a little bit outdated, so we had to focus on that. Second bedroom had yeah, it was a good room, good size double bedroom with built-in cupboards. As you can see here, it did have some lovely Marilyn Monroe wallpaper, which has now been painted over in white. Took a while to get rid of that. And then the main bedroom, again, really good size. My plan wasn't to leave stuff for the tenants as they might have their own furniture, but this came with drawers and wardrobes, which I did leave for them. Yeah, good size room. I like this house. I'm pleased with it as my first buy-to-let in terms of size, because I think it has potential. It's not one of those pokey 2 bedrooms. It's got a bit more to it than that. So yeah, that's it. So that was a quick tour just to remind you of what the house looks like. And as I said, the first sort of 4, 5, 6 months were very profitable. There's only one bit of damage where the splashback fell off from behind where the oven was. That needed replacing. I've mentioned that in my previous video. And apart from that, it was all good. Since then, there's been a few things to update and spend money on. First of all was the consumer unit, the electrical consumer unit, and some wiring that was a bit dodgy and needed updating. Now, you might be thinking, Justin, hang on a minute, I thought you refurbished this house. And the honest truth is, yes, we did. And when we were doing that back in December, I might have taken a chance a bit. I thought, should we replace this now? Or can I get away with it for a year? Because it's a safe electrical system and it doesn't need updating yet. So I took a chance on it. I thought I might get another year or 2 out of this before needing to replace it and update it. However, as new rules and regulations have changed around electricals in rental properties, I have been given until January 2021 to update it, but I thought let's do it straight away. So I did that halfway through this year, updated the consumer unit, and to be fair, there was a little bit of faulty wiring which I wanted to do for safety reasons. So that's now been replaced, and of course that did take a bit of a hit in terms of, I think it was 1 or 1.5 months profit, I believe. After that, again, I had another month of good rent, and then I think it was the month after that, September or October, I believe it was September, when I'm sure if you're a landlord and you own multiple properties, you kind of get to September, October, when the autumn, winter comes in, and you kind of hold your breath a little bit because, people have had summers where it's hot and they've had the windows open and the property's been able to breathe, they haven't been running the heating. And then September comes around and October comes and it gets colder. People are turning their heating systems on, the rain is coming in, and I'm sure you probably hold your breath a bit as a landlord and think, oh, I hope there's no leaks or maintenance that comes up with the boiler. And that's exactly what happened to me. So it was about, I'm sure it was September, and it was a few weeks into kind of when the rain had started to hit and there was a leak that came into the kitchen. So again, I wanted to get this fixed straight away. It's not fair for the tenants to have to go through that. So got it fixed straight away, had some builders in. It was a repair to the roof on the outside, and of course it caused a bit of damage on the inside, so a bit of replastering. So I'm not the perfect landlord, but if I can afford to do something, by all means I'll do it, because those tenants have been there throughout this year. I want to help them, reward the fact that they've stayed at the property. I also want to keep the property maintenance up to date so I don't have to do a huge repair in the future. So yeah, that really did hit the cash flow for this second half of the year. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, but there's also a lot of positives to owning property. Now, what can I take from my experience? What tips can I give someone brand new getting into property right now? Well, first of all, this has really opened my eyes to the fact that I always wanted to own multiple buy-to-let properties, but I think it's crucial. I actually now think it's crucial. If you have 1 or 2 buy-to-lets, that's the detriment to yourself, really, because when something happens, when something goes wrong with that 1 or 2 buy-to-lets that you own, that really affects your cash flow. Whereas if you do own 5, if you do own 10 buy-to-lets, you can rely on those other properties whilst you're fixing the problem in this one that's come up. So I do believe as a buy-to-let investor, you should be thinking about having multiple properties at least, so that when an issue comes up, you've got cash flow to cover the issue. Another tip from me was I bought this buy-to-let almost ready to go. It had a bit of work, as I've mentioned, that we did ourselves, but maybe reviewing it now, I mean, the reason I bought it like that is because I was a new investor. I had I was a bit scared potentially to invest and buy something that would needed a full refurbishment, but maybe that would have been the more sensible option. Maybe if I could have bought a property, fully renovated it, so I knew that all the maintenance was done, that would have been a good thing to do. And then also I might have been able to add value, refinance it quicker, and recycle my money quicker. So again, a tip for someone starting from fresh, maybe you should go straight in with that strategy if you feel confident to do so. Another thing is distance. I live on the south coast near Brighton, and I invest in Liverpool. On a good run, that's 4.5 hours, 4 hours 45. On a bad run, 5 to 5.5 so far from what I've encountered. Is that too far? Well, potentially a bit. In terms of maintenance, I've had a good managing agent. They've helped look after me. It means I haven't had to go to and fro to the property and haven't had too much stress around it. However, when it comes to looking for future properties, I am finding that the distance is what's quite hard. You know, when a deal comes up, I can't just book in and go in a couple of days' time. I have to book a whole trip around it, and therefore have to book multiple viewings to make it worthwhile. So distance isn't a negative, but it is at the same time. It is something that I do have to consider because, you know, it does affect my future investing. And last of all, just get started. You know, if you've got the money and if you've got your education, you know, you've self-educated yourself, you feel confident, you feel ready to buy, then go out and do it. Because as long as that property, you know, you're confident in that property investment, you're only going to gain knowledge and experience from there out. The amount that I've gained in 12 months is pretty amazing. Considering it's not been the perfect first 12 months of owning a buy-to-let, I'm still so pleased I did it. So pleased that I, you know, bought it back in 2019 and that I have it now. And I'm only going to use that experience in buy-to-let 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. So that's my last tip. I hope these tips have been useful. If you do enjoy this channel and this is a tip that you could share with a friend or a business partner, please share this video. Please give it a like. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you very soon for a vlog.